Hey guys, welcome to the Tub. I'm your host, Emerson Canete.
I'm your co-host, John Binkley.
Our guest, he's supposed to be here by now, but he just isn't. Late as usual, I guess.
Yeah. I guess he'll be in a couple minutes. So,
Joining us?
he's here. All right, well, today we're going to be interviewing Commander from Gilead.
It's nice to be here on the Tub. I'm a huge fan. I'm Fred, one of the commanders of Gilead. As many of you may know, in my household we have the usual roles such as me, the commander, my wife, I got a handmaid, some Marthas, and of course some guardians to keep me safe.
So, tonight we have some questions for you about the inner workings of Gilead and so on. First off, is this room bugged by any chance?
That's confidential.
Okay, so with that out of the way, could you tell me how you became a commander?
Alright, well, there's some confidential stuff that I sadly can't tell you guys, but I'll try to give you a little bit of a rundown. Basically, we didn't like how the government worked, so we took action. Some may debate it was a bit too harsh, but that's the way we did it.
That's fascinating. You know, I was wondering how did you guys started this revolution, but how did many of the terms like aunts and persecution come into play?
Well, so persecution. I coined that term, and the term aunts we use because we don't want the handmaids to get too close to the aunts, you know? We don't want to call them like mom because that's very nurturing and caring.
It makes a lot more sense now. Thank you.
Being such a sort of like unified country, I was wondering about the uniforms, like handmaids. Where did those come from?
I designed those handmade uniforms for the sake of modesty. It covers a lot of them.
Yeah, alright, that's interesting. And while we're on the topic of handmaids, those ceremonies that you have, why do them once a month when your country's population is dwindling? It seems pretty odd to limit the opportunities for pregnancy.
Well, I guess you do have a point there. Scientifically, it really doesn't make much sense. We should be doing it more often. But we use more religious concepts, and we want the ceremonies to be structured events, and we don't want them to be too often, because we don't want intimacy to develop between the two commanders.
Ah, yes. See, I was under the impression you said two commanders. Do you mean handmaiden commanders?
Yeah, my bad.
All right. Well, thanks. I guess that's all the time we have for this section because I gotta go blow my nose. See you guys later.
All right.
All in season.
Yeah.
You should hope that room isn't bugged, because those eyes might hear the two commanders thing.
Yeah, we don't want any gender treachery.
Freudian slips aside. Today's sponsor is Borders. That's right, Borders is back, and in Gilead, more secure than ever. Just because you aren't allowed to read doesn't mean you shouldn't buy from them. So go order from them right now.
And don't forget, if you order now, you get 10% off a portrait in the front page.
What? Who told you that?
It's on the script.
Alright. Okay, now that he's back, I guess we can continue with our planned callers.
Okay, so, hi Fred. I had a question about the social statuses of Gilead. So, what's the inspiration behind all the names? I understand a couple of them, but not all of them.
Good question. Obviously, the commanders, such as me, we command the household and the people who are in it. We make the top decisions. The handmaids, they're called handmaids because they're maids as they service me, but they're not like traditional housemaids that tidy up the house. Their main purpose is, of course, for reproduction. The Marthas, they're called Marthas because there's a passage in the Bible who tells of a woman named Martha, and she would not stop doing household work, like cleaning, to spend time with Jesus. And the guardians, we call them guardians because they guard the house. They keep everything secure.
Thank you. I really appreciate you answering my question.
Alright, thank you, caller number 1. Now, let's hear the next caller.
Hey Fred, big fan. I was curious as to what determines an unwoman. Why are they sent to the colonies, and what exactly are the colonies? Thanks for the time.
Always nice to meet a fan. An unwoman is a woman who possesses traits that we find undesirable. For example, being lesbian, a nun, infertile, or being a feminist, just to name off a few. We send them to the colonies, which essentially are very difficult places to live in. The colonies, they usually have they're very polluted and filled with radioactive waste.
Alright, thanks. I understand much better now.
Alright, with those two callers out of the way, that pretty much wraps up our interview. We sort of ran out of time here. Thank you, Fred, for letting us ask you these questions and letting the callers ask you some questions. I know how strictly you hold information in Gilead, so it's nice that you can do that for us.
No problem.
It's great having you on the show. That's it for today, guys. See you next time.